Welcome everybody to a look at the final film in the J Horror Rising box set from Arrow Video, which is just behind me. So the final film is 2005's Noroi The Curse. So this is directed by Koji Shirayashi, who we've already talked about before, as he also did Carve the Slip-Mouthed Woman. And this is a horror found footage film, clocking in at 115 minutes long. Stars a cast that I've not seen anything else from before, especially the four leads. If there's anyone else lower down in terms of the cast rankings that I've seen something from, then I didn't notice. So that's a bit unfortunate considering how much I enjoy the cast in this. So it's about a documentary filmmaker who explores seemingly unrelated paranormal incidents connected by the legend of an ancient demon called the Kagutaba. So this is how you do a found footage horror film, quite frankly, and I am so glad this delivered on virtually every level due to numerous other similarly filmed efforts that I have watched that I really did want to like, not managing to succeed in quite the same way as this, which meant I was not only highly surprised in how effective this was, but also, just how engaging it was when it was doing what it was doing, because went in with the expectation of it being like every other found footage horror film where there's no real reason for the camera to be there or anything like that, but because it is about a documentary filmmaker, he has the reason to film. He has the reason to keep that camera rolling. Whereas in other films, it just doesn't really feel like it's a whole necessary thing. I quite frankly, it reminded me of like Cloverfield, for instance. As much as a good film that is, when those characters are in that kind of situation, I think the last thing that would be on my mind would be getting a shot of what's going on. But that's just me. The film manages to be highly effective thanks to it using the documentary style of filmmaking the best way possible, like I said, relying just as much on interviews with others to generate its foreboding dread as it does on imagery itself. It also has numerous tense scenes that don't conclude with any cheap jump scares. The score adds to the overall unnerving atmosphere. Reminds me of a lot of Ringu in that regard with the score, because even though the scores are quite minimal, they are there in such a way that, and they are employed in such a way that makes the foreboding atmosphere even greater. And this is something that does really well as well. The investigation aspect works extremely well as it helps make it as engaging as it is. It is well paced, the cast is convincing, and I genuinely struggled to sleep for a good 2 hours because of how much this impacted me on my original watch of this film a few years back. My only issue with this is the narrative structure, which at the beginning does reveal some plot elements about what happens to a few characters later down the line that ultimately didn't feel necessary. But the incredibly unsettling ending that this has does help, along with the other positives, to offset any downsides. So, and that ending, wow. First time I saw that, like I said, really could not sleep for a good couple of hours just because it's that unnerving. And yeah, really does make everything else worth the watch. Not that the rest of it's a slog just to get through to that ending, but it ends in such a shocking and satisfying and unsettling way that it just makes everything else just fall into place. And is a great effort as a result of that. So this is the only film in the box set that has itself to an own disc, so no sharing of a film with this one. Not sure whether or not they couldn't get an eighth film to put with this, and considering the likes of Persona wasn't really a horror film, it does feel a bit like they have a half finished box set, because this is the only one without another film. Persona didn't feel like a horror film, so technically we only really have 6 horror films out of 7, and this is the only one on its own disc. But quite frankly, it deserves its own disc because it's comfortably the best of the 7. So we've also got the new artwork on the reverse, which I quite like. We also have a few art cards, so minor spoilers ahead. You also have all of the original poster on the reverse. So minor spoilers. It's also really good at playing with camera trickery, lighting and looking back at footage you've just seen to find something that you might well not have noticed originally. And I really, really do like that. It makes, again, good use of its found footage um, format that it's using. So yeah, it's got a high definition presentation, got the original Japanese 5.1 and stereo audio, got optional English subtitles. You've got brand new audio commentary by film critic Julian Singleton. You've got director's POV, a brand new video interview with Noroi the Cursed director Koji Shirashi. We've got the Man in the Shadows, a brand new interview with Noroi the Cursed producer Takashigi Ishizi. And then we've got Changing Perspective, a brand new video essay on Noroi the Cursed by Japanese horror specialist Lindsay Nelson. Ectoplasmic Worms, a brand new video essay on the film and Japanese cosmic horror by Japanese cinema expert Amber T. Then we've got How to Protect Yourself Against Curses, Urgent Report, Pursuing the Truth About Kagutaba TV special. And I've got over half an hour of deleted scenes, trailers and TV spots, and an image gallery. So yeah, I imagine this has been taken from another source, perhaps America, because typically when you have that symbol, that full 1080p or full HD 1080, I do think that's an American symbol to show what resolution it is at. But regardless, it is just nice to have it on Blu-ray. Finally, we don't have it on Blu-ray in any other form in the UK. So yeah, it's finally great to have it and own it as well, because it is, like I said, one of my all-time favorite horror films, one of my all-time favorite Japanese horror films in particular, and yeah, it really does rank up there with Ringu. Quite frankly, there really isn't anything really between them, and they do things on a different kind of level. And obviously they go about it a different way as well. This is found footage. Ringu is more traditional in terms of its cinematography and such. So yeah, excellent film. Like I said, comfortably the best out of the box set. So let's, as per usual, when we look at the final film in a box set, rank the film. So we know Noroi is my favourite of the bunch, but what about the other 6? Well, for the most part, they have been pretty good. There's only one that I'd rate below average, and we all know what that one is. So yeah, I'd say Inugami and Shikoku are my 2 second place showings. I can't really split the 2 of them. So yeah, they are both 4 out of 5 and both really, really well but good. And then it would be Isola Multiple Personality Girl that comes in 3rd. And then it would be Persona in 4th, which shares the same disc with 5th place with Carved the Split Mouth Woman. And then in 5th, we'd have St. John's Ball, which, like I said, is the worst of the bunch. Not by a massive margin, it's only half a star between it and Persona and Carved, but still, it is, at the end of the day, the worst. So, yeah, but like I said, I can't really split Inugami and Shikoku between one another. They are really, really good and both engaging in terms of their characterization and such, but yeah, they are still both 4 out of 5 and therefore slightly down on Noroi, which I give 4.5 out of 5. So, yeah, but overall, a really, really good box set. I really like the presentation that it's got going on with it, and outside of the fact that there's one film there that I don't really highly recommend, and the fact that Persona isn't quite a horror film, it is on the whole a solid box set, and yeah, far better than I was expecting it to be, because the average ratings on the likes of Letterboxd didn't give me the greatest of hope, and I did sillily kind of get the box set purely for Noroi because of how much I enjoyed that film in the past, and therefore just desperately wanted to own it. So yeah, but thankfully that is not the only really good film in here, and there's at least, like I said, 2 other 4-star films that I do also highly, highly recommend seeing. So yeah, but if you have seen Noroi the Curse, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.